Misfit Nation.
We got to talk about Secoriea Turner, the 8-year-old girl who got killed. Yeah. So
and the 1-year-old child that died in Brooklyn.
Yeah. There's specifically we got to talk about Turner because of the fact that they're hiding again that these were Black Lives Matter protesters who shot this girl.
Wait, these were Black Lives Matter protesters.
They were part of the protest. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I thought
they're calling them gang members, but which they probably are. But they were part of
affiliated with it.
Is it because they were in the crowd that you're affiliating them with? Or is it just a gang membership?
What it was they basically were occupying that Wendy's, kind of like starting a mini Chaz, and they were in a part of that occupation. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's more of a case of a group infiltrating another group.
That's always the excuse.
I mean,
it's like that's.
Or was it?
How many times is that going to happen before we realize that's the group?
Or wasn't one of those bad? This is my hood because I'm in a gang.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking that a gang member has the morality to be out there and protest and then turn around and not shoot his gun.
But they let them be a part of the protest. That's their muscle.
So they know they're gang members.
Like what we saw a few weeks back.
Like, well, how many videos have you seen of that? That's literally, maybe there's like a few of them, but.
Yeah. But how many do you really see of gang members in the
Black Lives Matter protesting?
Yeah.
I think we see it a lot. They're just not dressed like gang members. They're all dressed in black and.
I don't know, bro. Every time I see a Black Lives Matter protest, it's a white person. Like, I don't, like, yeah, there's black people out there, but every time I see something that's like egregious, like the Wendy's, the very same Wendy's where there was a white girl that burnt that shit down. But she's a Black Lives Matter protester.
Yeah, but we're talking about somebody who shot an AK-47 into a car.
Right, but...
with an 8-year-old girl in it.
I understand that. And...
I'm not blaming that all on the Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying there's no, like, talk about it in Black Lives Matter. There's nobody coming out and saying, like, hey, we denounce this that happened.
Oh, that's egregious.
Yes, it's all let's make excuses for why they did this. That's all it is.
Nah, they need to be found.
Well, or we're just going to blame it on them being gang members. Like when they're actually with us protesting, and the reason they shot up the car was because they were occupying an area for us. You get what I'm saying? Like, where do you not put any blame on Black Lives Matter from that? I don't get it.
Bodies just to make them come through?
I don't know the reason why they shot the car, but they were occupying an area. I think it's smart to assume that's part of it.
You believe probably it was a midpoint and they believed, oh, let's do it here, but they still had a destination to get to?
I don't know. They're driving down a street. That's their fucking right to do that.
I don't know how the protests are set up. I don't know if you could just walk out there and be like, hey, I'm with the protest. If anybody can do that, then that means that, yeah.
And you don't put any of that responsibility on the organization.
On the organization itself, of course. Yeah, I would have to, because they were allowing them. But I don't know if they know their true intentions from the begin with. If they know that they're going to go out there and fucking bust their gun. If they're telling the fucking headquarters that, hey, we're going to go set up a protest at Wendy's, and they don't know that they're going over there armed and they're going to fuck shit up, then I can't really put that on. That's like you're working for the company and you do some fuck shit. I can't put that on the company because that's the personal choices that y'all made. I can't.
But if the company never comes out and says, "Hey, don't do this,"
and that's where it's egregious. I agree. That's right. Egregious. That has to be acknowledged at some point.
At some point, like at what point? Like, what does it have to get to? Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think fucking 4 years ago.
Listen, I'm always gonna agree with the statement Black Lives Matter the political angle of it, it's no way you slice it. That shit's fucked up all over.
All right, I'm gonna say this.
Uh-huh.
Fuck the group, Black Lives Matter,
Okay.
and fuck the statement.
Okay. That's your personal choice.
Because the statement is ridiculous on its own. Because it's implying that white people don't give a fuck about black lives, and that's fucking ridiculous.
Some people,
based on every type of example I could give you.
Some white people don't. I think it initially started because when you would tell white people stories of police brutality, they would always either brush it off or not take a look at it.
But then when you see the evidence of their police brutality, you realize it's not really police brutality. They were just resisting arrest and escalated the situation. But we give excuses for that. Like, there's no... The reason why you're programmed to not accept the personal responsibility thing is, the reason why Black Lives Matter doesn't accept that is because that's literally the key to the answer. Like, the answer to the whole problem. If you literally did that, that would fix it. That would fix 85 to 90% of the problems. And the reason they don't admit it, because it's basically conceding the entire argument.
So you don't think that somewhere in my mind I can't think that Black Lives Matter and the statement won't be bullshit to me?
No, I'm saying if you hear somebody say fuck Black Lives Matter, you take it as them saying fuck Black Lives Mattering. Like, always. There's no kind of like, does he mean this? Does he mean that? Like, I think it's all like programming.
Yeah.
Completely.
Well, shit, I'm in the Matrix, man. What can I tell you?
I mean, you can
read
a little bit and get out of it.
If someone just says fuck Black Lives Matter.
Reading's for yellow bellies.
Oh, we're gonna get into that in a minute, actually.
We're gonna get into
If someone just said fuck Black Lives Matter, that just means fuck black people to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down that hill.
Hey,
Why?
Chris. Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, but you did.
No, what's the question?
No, I was going to ask Chris the question. What do you think is the most hated race?
The most hated race?
Yeah.
Jews. I think people can
More
openly...
hated than black people?
100%. People can openly hate Jews all day and make Jew jokes, and there's no outrage about it.
But is it always because it's allowable why they do it?
I don't know.
Like comedians,
let
for
it
instance,
happen?
yeah, like since they let it happen, it's easier to make jokes for them to do it. So
Sure. I'm not saying no Jews ever get offended, but I'm just saying like you don't hear them complain about racism or anti-Semitism. I think there's actual like studies that are done that show that Jews are the most hated race in the world, I think.
Okay, but we were talking about here.
Here too.
Here too?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta see the numbers. But I believe it's black people.
I don't get how like you think that too?
I believe it's black people. I believe the reason why Jews get picked on is because they're not so vocal about them getting picked on. It's like the little the runt in the classroom. You can bully them and they don't do shit back, so you can keep doing it.
What makes you guys think that, or what makes you feel
just
that black people are the most hated?
He just called Jews
Reds.
What makes you feel that black people are the most hated?
Because we just had a conversation and you're saying they were restraining arrests, but it's still not considered that. Can there be a different way so it doesn't end in fatality?
Bro, deeper than that, we just saw a mini clip of okay, whether it was the government or not, it was white people who bombed a black town out of existence, pretty much. And that kind of culture.
That was a little group that infiltrated, Blaze.
Right, but that little group has the ideals of all the other ones. So
I disagree.
yeah, well, Why is that? Why do you disagree?
I just
Because you're
say
just saying that.
I take it
you
as
don't know.
if someone didn't know that or seen that, and you put a few people in the room. I won't give a number. Just a lot of people in the room, and they watch that. I'm guaranteed there's going to be a handful that's going to be like, damn, I'm glad that shit happened. Damn right, they're gonna all their shit could burn. You know what I'm saying? And for that to be that time, and for it to still be today, and it's still that, I don't hear anybody saying let's still have Jews in concentration camps, and it's not in a joking.
Who says that about black people though?
Black people to still be slaves, go back to being slaves, go back to where you come from, go back to all of that.
Who says that?
Racist people.
That's
What? Somebody's told you that?
Well, I mean, you see it online all the time, and then
Online,
you
really?
That's a real thing. We got to stop ignoring it.
We
And
can't
stop acting
believe-
like online's not a real
So
place. Online
you don't
is a real
scroll through
place.
your timeline and literally see, and I don't know who your friends are.
Mm-hmm.
This about white people. White people are the devil. White people are this. White people are that. All my problems are white people doing it. It's not my fault.
I actually don't. On my feed, not like that. I don't have any Hotepism friends. So
It doesn't have to be. I'm just talking about the entire. I could literally go through my timeline and read before I can get to something that's at least like fair. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, man.
There was a woman that got killed, a white woman that got killed, shot in the head, because she said all lives matter.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Black Lives Matter protesters. Again.
Yeah.
And that's literally killing somebody over one of Black Lives Matter's fucking talking points. Like, so I don't see why that doesn't get blamed on Black Lives Matter. It's still being called peaceful protests.
I mean, look, and then you also have, don't forget the counter protests, because all lives matter people get just as violent. So,
In what way?
you didn't see the video of the dude shooting he said all lives matter, and then he shot the guy with the arrow in the chest? You didn't see that
Were
shit?
they not attacking him? A mob of people?
After he shot the
After
person.
he shot the arrow. They weren't attacking him before that.
They were literally running up on him.
After.
No.
Bro, nobody ran up on him until
I
he
saw people
pulled the thing.
literally running around his car. Like,
After
that's
he
close
pulled
enough.
after he pulled out the bow and arrow.
They ran up on him before he shot.
Yeah, why are you pulling out a bow and arrow in a protest?
Why are you mobbing my car on a highway?
They're not mobbing his car on the highway. If
he
he's
got
at
out
his,
of the car.
All right.
He got out of the car.
Oh wait, let me
got
guess.
into-
It's a small group of infiltrators.
No, if he could get out of his car, get into the back seat, pull out his bow and arrow, get out an arrow, aim at somebody's chest, and shoot it before the mob could even get to him and hit him.
They weren't close enough. I'm not
There was
taking
no mob
All right,
coming
well,
after him.
that's
I'm not taking that.
we'll get into it. That actual video at some point.
All right. Well, in any case,
Well, here's where this is
there's
where
very fine people on both sides.
fuck out of here. That fucking shit is totally corrupted. All of the leaders, all of them are fucking racists. They're Marxists. They're communists. They don't give a fuck about black people. And I don't know why you guys don't see. I could explain it till I'm fucking blue in the face. I don't get why, like, you have this affiliation.
Because I'm black.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
You're affiliating to a political group based on your skin color.
But I've always
That's racism.
I've always said that I don't agree with what the movement has been doing. I've always said I agree with the statement because I'm black. So of course I want.
Because they're
my life
playing
back.
on your emotions. It's so simple.
So if you
I
said
don't
Black Lives
see it
Matter
like that.
and a white person came up to you and said white lives matter, are you going to take that as them hating black people?
Well, first of all, I'm not going around screaming Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying I agree with the statement.
Let's say you said that.
Okay.
I agree with the statement, and then a white person said white lives matter.
Okay. But
Does that mean
That's just like saying all lives matter.
And you
If they
take
say
that
all
as-
lives
and you
matter, how
take-
does
and
that- how do you
as
take
They
that?
don't like what we do.
Because it's a cop out to what the statement is trying to say. Whether you believe in police brutality or not, that is what the statement was rooted in. Was that black people were getting killed, and they just wanted that. Actually, it was started.
Yeah, I thought you
Actually,
did
hold
want a
on,
statement.
wait. It was started when Trayvon was killed. And that was like one of the moments in my life when I saw that, because you remember I saw that shit and I was fucked up about that shit.
Then that kills police brutality.
Yeah,
Huh?
what does that have to do with police brutality?
It spreads to that because that's when we're getting into systematic oppression,
Which hasn't been proven to be true.
right?
Which goes to them giving him a charge that was the wrong charge that got him.
Exactly. Because they didn't charge him fairly.
What should have been his charge? Manslaughter?
Probably second degree. What did they charge him with? First, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Charge him with first.
And they tagged him being racist to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Bring
A white
any of that
supremacist
evidence.
who's fucking like half Mexican, by the way.
Don't say that because he's definitely been signing Skittles and
Okay, so that's
Fucking-
Mexican. What the fuck? Like, what does that have to change? How does that change his fucking nationality?
it doesn't change his nationality, but his ideals are the same as the white supremacists.
So there's no such thing as racist Mexicans.
Oh, of course.
No such thing as
Anybody-
That's still
Anybody can be
connected to
racist.
white supremacy.
Anybody
That's
can
just
be racist.
capitalizing.
It's the system of white supremacy.
So the whole world is run under the system of white
So
supremacy.
capitalizing
Say that.
is run under white supremacy?
Huh?
Capitalizing?
What do you mean capitalizing? You mean
Signing
capitalism?
Skittles? No, capitalizing. The fact that he could sign Skittles, make money, do all endorsing the fact that he did that.
That's
and got away with
capitalism. That's capitalism.
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
That's
I'm not
bad
saying he's a
behavior.
good
Yeah.
guy. I'm just saying he's like, I don't get how you connect. You go from George Zimmerman to
Police brutality.
police brutality to global white supremacy,
It's all
To
connected.
this,
and
just
you're
the
not connecting it.
statement
It's
and
never
not
been
the
connected.
movement.
It's
And then you say you're just for the statement, not the movement.
Yeah, but you
So-
are for the rhetoric.
But you are for the rhetoric.
Yeah.
well, fuck it. I guess I'm for the movement then. If you put it like that, shit. I just feel like
Okay, real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this. If you are for the movement, fucking fine, be for the movement. What I'm saying is, why can't you then, as someone who is affiliated with the movement, why can't you just go like, fuck the scumbags who killed this 8-year-old girl? They were part of our movement, but we're not with that. Why is that so hard to say?
that's not hard for me to say. I fully understand that. But I'm not in that organization. I don't shot callers, so I can't tell them what to say. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear the argument of people bashing Black Lives Matter, it feels like it's coming from a hateful place, and it's never on a oh well, let me tell you why I don't like this group for that. It's always like, well, no, because all lives matter, and some people even be like, fuck niggers and all lives matter. That always goes together. You know what I'm saying?
You know what spoils it too? When people take it out of context. There'll be an argument between two people and they'll spit out Black Lives Matter. That has nothing to do with the rhetoric. It has nothing to do with anything. After a while, it's like little Timmy screaming out wolf. People saying it just becomes ear sours to your ears. And
Yeah.
It
And it feels good to not have
loses
to.
its value. It's trash at that point. It became the new, it's because I'm black, ain't it?
I just feel like in certain cases, like the case of the Australian lady who was killed by that cop, he rightfully so, he is in jail because he murdered that girl. But there's certain situations, and I'm not talking about the Wendy's one, because I can see justification in a lot of police shootings, but there's certain interactions where it's just like, nah, some action has to happen. George Floyd, some action had to happen. We can argue all day whether or not he was a good person,
Yeah,
but
fuck all
he
that.
was murdered by the
Something
police.
about it, yeah.
So
Yeah, but then why can't? Because we all accept that, right wing, left wing, we all accept that. It's the main consensus. If we can accept that, because we can see what's right from wrong, why can't like Black Lives Matter and you accept like that the Black Lives Matter protests now in this country have killed almost twice as many, probably 3 times as many black people now than the police did, unarmed black men, all last year and this year.
And this year.
Probably combined.
I can accept that.
Yeah, but how do you accept that? How do you not see that the whole entire movement is like fucking based on bullshit? That it's Black Lives Matter. You say that it's about the saying and Black Lives Mattering, but then black people actually get killed and we pretend like it's not happening.
But this is, I've always said that if you know something that's going on, if you know people that's like out there murdering people, you gotta get those people off the street. It's a menace, you know what I'm saying? Like just taking people's lives. So I don't make any excuses for people who take people's lives. If they're part of that group, then they should be cut off of that group and be arrested.
This is why I'm saying it's bullshit.
Okay.
Is because now you're saying, okay, the entire system that we're protesting and that we hate because it's the white supremacy system. Let's expect the people who are preaching that to now turn over the bad ones to that system. You get what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. It just creates chaos because they look at now the system is the problem. So why would I snitch on my friend and turn him into the enemy?
But this is where I think police interactions with people of color and in neighborhoods of people of color need to be more of a friendlier thing, and I think that can only happen when people in that neighborhood start to become police officers. Until that happens, you're just gonna have outsiders in that.
They already are. I don't get. You're acting like it's fucking 1800s.
That's your statement. I'm pretty sure Black Lives Matter when they first started, they weren't anti-cop. They're just anti-bad cop. So if they are going to arrest,
let me tell you why that argument is horseshit. Because one of the Black Lives Matter chants and one of the thing that they tag all over the place, all over Chaz, all over there, wherever they loot and do their shit, is this thing that's ACAB. And what that stands for is all cops are bad. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And that's literally where Black Lives Matter will argue. If I go like, well, there's
I said
good
back in the day. When I said when they first started.
Well, I mean, it's, I guess, like if we're like it's gotten to that now that's the rhetoric where meaning like this is where that rhetoric got to that point where they just go, well, all cops are bad now. It's because people were making enough arguments that made sense and were logical where they go, well, there are good cops, there's just shit that happens and there are bad cops that get through and this and that, and it's a logical point. It might not be easy to accept, but it's a logical point. They had to go, oh, well, it's a guilt by association type deal, so this and that. But they'll start the argument with, I'm not saying all cops are bad, but I'm going to tell you why all cops are bad, because they're all connected to this, and then they have the, this and the blue code and all that type of shit.
Well, I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, there's evidence that, some officers will try and sort of whistleblow malpractice in their offices, and they'll get fired. And then the police union turns on them. So it's just like, even if you try to be a quote unquote good cop, you're not rewarded for that. You're almost excommunicated from the entire police force.
And that's what I'm saying. We can go like this. As a conservative liberal, we can agree, police unions, we should probably get those the fuck out of here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And that'll actually fix a huge amount of problems. People will go like, okay, we all agree on that, but that doesn't solve the bigger issue, which is this and that, because they have to make it an intellectual problem, as opposed to going like, no, actually, that'll solve a lot of the problems. That'll solve a huge amount of problems. Probably most of the problems you have a problem with, but you want to argue about other shit. Not you specifically, but
I know.
The mind state. It's like, I want to still prove this point of racism, you know what I mean?
So you don't think there's any racism left in this country?
No, I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm saying individual racism, yeah.
Yes.
Somebody that can get a powerful job and be racist, that's possible.
This is a perfect...
And they get fucking ousted most of the time.